know that I'd say I'm normal any more than any other person is normal, because everyone is their own unique snowflake, but I think that I'm a good person. I'm pretty irreverent about most things. I don't take too much too seriously. I think all of life can be a joke on some level, even if it's a bit twisted. But I have a challenge. So 9.5 years ago, I got sick. And without going into the technical details, it basically destroyed most of my optic nerves. So now I am legally, but not completely blind. When it happened to me, I mean, I was 23 and I'd just left a job, taken out a bunch of student loans, signed a lease on an apartment down in North Carolina. I didn't have any other option in my head other than to just roll with the new circumstances of what having this impairment meant. I don't see anything out of my right eye except for a little bit of movement in the corner and the difference between light and dark. And then in my left eye, I've got center vision lens corrected to sort of normal, but I have a super, super restricted field of vision. So I liken it to basically seeing the world like you would be looking through a fogged up window where someone has taken their thumb and sort of cleared a tiny little area in the center. To be fair, there are some people who really do try to do the right thing and have the conversation with you and work with your individual circumstances and are very tactful and sort of understand that with a lot of disability, it's not cut and dry, and it is sort of an iterative process to understand how a particular impairment would manifest itself in a particular circumstance. That's the best end of the spectrum. And then there are people who try to do the right thing, but they have a very rigid or limited sense as to what disability is or isn't or shouldn't look like. And that's tricky because you again want to believe that people come at it from the right angle, but if they are deciding for you what your disability means, then they've taken a little bit of your voice out of that conversation. And so that's not a fair dynamic. They think of it as helpless, or they think of it as inept, or sometimes the charity case. There's maybe a thought that people think that you're less capable or that you're dumb. One of the things people always ask about when they learn that I'm visually impaired is like, well, how about your other senses? Like, is one of them better? And I think they think I have some sort of like cat-like hearing or super great reflexes. And I tell them that the sense that's been improved the most by this whole circumstance is my sense of humor, because the chances are pretty good I'm gonna do something that's awkward, or that that other people might not understand, or might be a little off-putting. And I think if you get to know me as a person, you realize, well, it's just Liz. She's gonna be a little bit of an awkward turtle anyway. The blind just makes it a little bit kind of funny, or at least gives different fodder for awkward circumstances. If you understand that really inclusion and diversity is just about understanding and welcoming and being open to the things that are already there in what we even think of as normal, then I think it's an easier conversation. And the way I liken it is, a lot of times people say, oh, Liz, we had no idea that you were blind, or, oh, I forgot. And that's good and bad, because it's not a visual thing for other people. It's not immediately apparent, but then look around in a meeting, look around at your group. How many people are bringing something in that you can't see? Maybe someone doesn't hear well. Maybe someone has is a single parent. Maybe someone has a chronic medical condition, or a spouse at home who's going through a hard time. I mean, people all come to work with a lot that they carry with them, and inclusion and diversity is just being open to the whole of the person that comes in with whatever they carry with them.